the sun is high, we're feeling good. In Miami where the spirit's understood, with Bobby Finstock leading the crew, we're gonna show you what these Dolphins do. Fans up high, the crowd's roaring loud, in the city with the blue and aqua proud. Finstock's here with the play-by-play, we're getting ready, it's game day. Are you ready for some football? Miami Dolphins standing tall. Are you ready for some football? Showtime at the Hard Rock Yard. From the tailgate to the field of green, with the best fans you ever seen. Bobby's got the scoop, hot off the press. In Miami we roar to impress. Play up stats and pregame chat.
All right. Good morning, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to another edition of FTSN's Miami Dolphins pregame show. That's Finstanza. I'm Bobby Finstock, and let's get ready for Week 11. The Miami Dolphins welcoming the Las Vegas Raiders to Hard Rock Stadium as the Dolphins look to get their fourth win on the season, their second consecutive win today, and they are going to take on the 2-7 Raiders with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Before we get into the game, Finstanza, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Busy weekend as usual. Family stuff, soccer, hockey. Went for good wings last night with the family. Watched hockey last night. Watched football last night. Good college football because Wisconsin, Oregon. There was a lot of good stuff happening on college football last night. UFC stuff. I was catching up on that a little bit. But no, it's busy as always. And now another week of football. And another week of crazy activities in the midst of it. As parents, you and I, this is some of our, I don't know about you, I love pregame, but I love postgame is like that therapy for me. That is just like, I love this show, but to have this show and then have the end of the show, like I love Sundays. I don't really love the Monday games because I feel like it's rushed. We're in our work days, but to have this pregame, postgame show thing for me is like the best mental therapy I can have any time of the week. I don't know about you. It's just so nice to talk about the NFL in a relaxing environment. Everything is cool, calm, and then collected. And then at the end of the at
All
night,
goes to
you
hell.
get to go boom.
Yeah.
It's the highs and the lows of football. I love it.
Shout out to everybody who's tuning in wherever you're watching. You're watching Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you may be watching. You know, we appreciate you watching. Again, FTSN Miami Dolphins pregame show. If you're watching anywhere other than YouTube, do us a favor, hop on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it. Of course, Ben is in the comments. Ben is Evan's #1 fan. Appreciate him tuning in.
He better be, or he's in trouble.
You put that type of stuff. All right. But anywho,
He better be.
So Miami last week beat the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football, 23-15. They get their third win of the season. They win on prime time, which is usually unheard of nowadays, but Miami did it, which they go now back home to Hard Rock to take on the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders. Finstanza.
Yes.
As we get this ball rolling, before we obviously get into keys of the game, key inactives, predictions, how are you feeling? Now, I know where you're torn. I know where the little angel and the little devil go back and forth with you. But how are you feeling about today's game if you're for a Dolphins fan? You know, like if you wanted them to win, how are you feeling about this game? Do you feel good about this game? Do you have cause to pause? Give me your thoughts on the game as we're
How do I feel? How do I feel about this? I have always been, if you go back as long as you have known me, I was the bandwagoner, right? I was a bandwagoner. And I was somebody who truly put faith in Tua Tagovailoa, and I truly put faith in Chris Greer, Stephen Ross, and even when they first happened, my BFF David, who will jump on the show, you like to laugh at what he has to say all the time. He always reminded me when McDaniel was first hired, even though you and myself wanted a veteran head coach, he always said to me, I remember when he first joined, you were big on the bandwagon, you loved McDaniel. And I go, yeah, like any coach, like any fan, you want to be happy with the person that is coming in, right? You want to support the person who's coming in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm at the point now where I said last season, if you remember at the level everyone remembers who's watching the show, where my low was at the end of the season when we lost to Kansas City, how we blew it against Tennessee and all that, and then blew it against Buffalo and everything. I've been hard on McDaniel, and I'm going to call him McDaniel for the show. I won't call him names until postgame. I will only call him McDaniel for this part of the show.
Fair enough.
I'll stay calm. I've been hard on him the same way you've been hard, and I was to a bandwagoner. And I've come to realize now, I used to let the Dolphins affect my day to the point where I couldn't even function, like to the point where I was just angry because I invested my time. Like you always say, we invest our merchandise, we travel, we do. And when I start seeing people laughing on the sideline when they're down 30, when I know people who have been concussed continue to put their head down and not learn their lesson, when I have a guy who forgot it was fourth down in a playoff game and still calls timeouts ridiculously, can't get calls in on time, loses every goddamn challenge, I give cause for pause. So for me, as much as I want to believe in the Miami Dolphins, shockingly today, and we'll talk about it throughout the show, I don't know, I'm playing around with where my prediction is. As long as Tua Tagovailoa is our starting quarterback, who continues to put himself in a position to get hurt, continues to laugh at everybody who says it's not that hard, how hard it is to play quarterback, and that they're sitting on their couch eating their chips when he has fumbled the ball, Bobby. In every single show, from East 10th Street Boys to yesterday to Real Talk Fins to Real Talk Rants, I have repeated the same stat that people don't realize exists. In the last 24 starts of Tua Tagovailoa, he has fumbled 20 times. We have lost the ball and he has turned the ball over 7 of those times. That is an unbelievably disheartening stat that a guy who says how hard it is to play the position and says I'm a great quarterback, I can do whatever. He seems to forget that he should be playing like Drew Brees. He should be playing like Joe Montana. He should be playing like Dan Marino. He should be playing like Tom Brady. He should be playing like a pocket passer. Instead, he's playing like a moron. He's the moron right now that I'm frustrated with. He is costing us football games because as bad as the defense was against Arizona, Bobby, he had the ball in his hands and he couldn't put down Arizona. Tennessee last year, he had the ball in his hands. He couldn't put down Tennessee. He has constantly had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And last week was one time. But you want to know what? You're not going to convince me, Tua. You're not going to convince me, Mike McDaniel, that you won one game when you couldn't win key games at home, that you're proving me right today. Today gives me major, major cause for pause because I have zero faith right now in Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. Everybody else will do what they need to do. But in any team, it starts with the quarterback and it starts with the head coach. If you're Baltimore right now, it doesn't matter what Derrick Henry does. It's about what Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh have planned. Going into the game today, it's Sean McDermott and Josh Allen. If it's Kansas City, it's Mahomes and it's Reed. It's Sirianni and Hurts. It's very easy. It's the quarterback. That's why there was success with Marino and Shula because of that. There was a reason why it was Aikman and Johnson. There's a reason why it was Brady. And I was talking to my buddy yesterday about this. Tom Brady, 45 years old, 46 years old. Why? Because he knew how to play quarterback. He knew how to extend his career. Calais Campbell knows how to extend his career. Look at Aaron Rodgers at 41. He's going to be done at the end of this season. Why? Because he played quarterback in a more physical way. There's a reason why Cam Newton isn't playing anymore. There's a reason why Connor Williams, I wish him all the best, 27 years old, retired this week. There's all different reasons. If you want to extend your career to it, Mike McDaniel, you want to be a successful head coach, learn from your mistakes. Those two, for the last 2.5 seasons, including Chris Greer, the King Trio, the Curly, Larry, and Mo, haven't learned their lesson yet. And as long as those three are there, until they show me something consistent, they're not going to trick me again. I've fallen for this trick for 2 years. I ain't falling it for again this year. I refuse to be to get my hopes up to then fall face down on my ass. Forget it.
So, all right. So I'm going to make sure. I trust, because of who they're going against and what they're, kind of almost where they're at. I trust this should be a game where Miami goes 4-6. I have faith Miami will win this game. Not saying you're making any predictions here, but you don't trust that you don't trust them yet. You don't trust them against the Raiders. I can understand not trusting them against the Packers, but right now against this Raiders football team,
I don't trust them.
Okay.
Want to know why?
You just said why.
No, but I'll reiterate it. Last year,
Uh-oh.
the team was in a very different position, had a significant winning record. They played the Raiders. Do you remember the score?
No.
20-13. They almost lost to the Raiders. They only lost by 7 points against the team, and Max Crosby was a game wrecker even in that game. Even when they were winning, I think they were 6-2 back then, or something like that. In fact, I can't remember 7.
Yeah,
they almost lost. The Raiders kept it close. The Raiders have beaten the Baltimore Ravens this year. They almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs this year. What's to say they go into Hard Rock, where we have not been good this year? We have not taken advantage of the home field advantage of the sun. And this is one of our afternoon games. They did against Arizona, and they didn't prove anything right. And I'll let the cat out of the bag right now. On that coaching staff, there are 3 people who have been screwed over by the Miami Dolphins on that coaching staff. Do you know who they are?
No, I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Who is the defensive coordinator?
Weaver.
No, of the Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders? I don't know.
Patrick Graham. Remember him?
Yeah, Flores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's their defensive backs? Who's their defensive secondary coach? Defensive backs coach? Remember Gerard Alexander?
Mm-hmm.
And the king of all. You know who's going to make them pay today? You're going to laugh. You're going to roll your eyes. Who is their offensive line coach?
Who's that?
Good old Joe Philbin.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And you have John Jenkins on that team. Christian Wilkins will be somewhere, even though he's not on the field. Gardner Minshew is a gunslinger who you and I would have been very comfortable having him as our backup this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no guarantee with this team because Tua has proven, and this year we can't even beat the good teams. Tua's 2-3 this year. I don't care. Tua's 2-3. Tua's not 5-2. He hasn't proven anything to me yet this year. Mike McDaniel last week was still confused. And I'm sorry, when I look at Mike McDaniel, every time I look at him on the sideline, I don't care. He looks like Adam Gase in the sense that he's not focused on the game. He's on the tablet. He doesn't look confident. He looks confused. He looks disheveled. He does not look like a representative head coach. If you go look at Nick Sirianni now, who we were all saying everyone wanted their head, he's clean shaven now. He looks like a coach. He's adapting, and this team is now 8-2 and utilizing all of his weapons. And Bobby, we talked about how are Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. How they're going to have 3,000 yards combined this year. How is it that I watch a lot of these games? Not you too. You don't just watch Dolphin games. How is it that Jamar Chase is able to overcome with Joe Burrow 2 deep safeties? How is it that Justin Jefferson is able to overcome 2 deep safeties? How is it that you have Waddle and Hill and you can't overcome 2 deep safeties? What's wrong with making Tyreek Hill a slot receiver? Adapt. I've yet to see. How is it that the number one ranked player in the NFL,
voted by his peers,
by his peers, is not the leading receiver on this team? Devon Achane, who's missed a game, has more receptions than Tyreek Hill. That is absolutely on Mike McDaniel because for the 4 games that Tua wasn't there, he had to go check down all the time. Enough with the check downs. Enough with the second. If you actually go watch their game, count the number of plays that start behind the line of scrimmage between the running game and between the check downs. We start most of our plays, half of our plays, if not more, are starting 4 or 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Every play. It's absolutely unbelievable. And now finally he's holding people accountable. Last week we couldn't get the run game going because he punished Raheem Mostert because Raheem Mostert's actually our best outside runner, and it didn't work last week with Wright and Achane. And he got rid of David Long, which I don't disagree with. But let me ask you guys. We already have a dead cap, and he's going to be guaranteed a salary anyways, David Long. Why are we not keeping David Long, even if you have to bench him and have him as a secret weapon? If, God forbid, the new linebacker gets injured or Jordan Brooks gets injured, knock on wood, you're relying on Channing frickin' Tindall? What has Channing Tindall proven, Bobby? Because he's better on special teams? Then go cut him and go get a special teamer at a minimum salary. But what are we holding on to Channing Tindall for? I'm okay with sitting David Long, but you have to pay him his salary anyways. Why? I was okay with them getting rid of him, but why the heck are they doing this? I don't get it.
So let me, first off, I think you hit on a lot of good points there, though, to talk about why you're not comfortable or why you don't trust that Miami could just come away with a win here. And, shout out, you talk about how the record at Hard Rock there. They're 1-3 at Hard Rock this season. They're 1-3. You talked about Tua's fumbles, the way he's been playing this season, when he's been even healthy. And of course, Mike McDaniel. And, the Raiders did, full disclosure, they've lost the last 5 games. They lost against the Cincinnati Bengals, 41-24. Kansas City, 27-20. The Rams, 20-15. Pittsburgh, 32-13. Denver, 34-18. So, but I absolutely get it. I get what you're saying. First off, shout out Cap for Life's in the house. Pretty boy as well. He is, he says, the spread Miami has to cover scares me too. Is not good when we play dominant fronts on the defense. Shout out to Finstanza. He says, it's about time we have somebody that tells the truth, that speaks about about Dolphins content. I am sick of and tired of hearing that Tua is the best at everything.
I've said this to you, Bobby.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. What was the main reason why people feel that Mike McDaniel has been good for Tua? It wasn't that he made him a better quarterback, because I think he was still it was confidence. Mm-hmm. But now, what I always keep on telling you, and my cousin wants me to go find it on eBay. He wants me to buy, and for every post-game show, have the arrogance from Rick the Model Martel. He wants me to reach out to my fellow Montrealer. He has a fan club, and see if I can get that and send that to Tua, because that's what he's projecting right now. Like, they're 3-6. They're 3-6. There's nothing exciting about this, because, like I said, prior to last week's game, they've hardly looked good. They have not looked good in most of the games. They should have lost Jacksonville. They could have lost the other game as well. Everything's been tight-lipped. That last week wasn't even dominating. It was the fact that the defense showed up. The offense is yet to show up. I'm sorry, 27 points in 2 games. Last week going back, they're still the worst offense in the league. It's now 11. We're week 11. Mike McDaniel with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, Devon Achane, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Wright, Tua Tagovailoa for part of. How are you still not able to come up with a 2 deep safety look? I don't understand, because, Bobby, all these great teams, you don't think that when Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown are on the field, that Ben Johnson doesn't have to come up with a solution to solve the 2 deep safeties? When Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are on the field, they don't have to come up with a solution for 2 deep safeties? Why is it that only every time I hear NFL Live, they have to adjust because the fact that the Hill is a decoy, this and that? What are the excuses of Jalen Waddle making $21 million this year and dropping every other football? What is it with Tua making $50 million this year and going to duck his head for a tackle? What's he doing there exactly? It doesn't matter. What's Mike McDaniel taking timeouts last week? Bobby, how much does it frustrate you when you're watching as a fan that 90% of their timeouts are not taken to win the game, to spike the ball, to try to go win? Why is it that most of the timeouts are taken because they can't get the frickin' play call in? And honestly, Bobby, the number one thing that angers me more than anything, and I'm sure it does you too, no team has given up more points this season or last season probably, heading into the half on the last drive than the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins score or get points or have a 3-and-out. They leave a minute and a half on the clock. They play soft zone, string cheese, mozzarella defense and give 3 points.
I like that.
But it is
string cheese mozzarella defense.
Okay,
we got to make that a T-shirt.
Okay, but it is, Bobby. Every time you can't close the television. Every time they leave time on the clock for the other team, they give up points. Every single time heading into the half. Go look at every half this season where they're not holding the football. You know what we do when we have the football with less than a minute left? Nothing. What does the other team do with a minute left? They score every single time. And that is not just on the defense, that's on the head coach. He plays lazy. He plays loose. It's not the way to play. How is it that when they're playing defense, sometimes they play loose? They don't. He's always, and then when he gets interviewed, he talks in word salad. It is just, for me, as long as those two people are leading our football team every single week, what they have shown me since the Tennessee game last year to now is they are not to be trusted. They are not to be trusted. They have yet to prove anything to any of us. Be proud of your team. Be proud of Chop Robinson, who I apologize to. Be proud of Jake Bailey, who had a good game last week. Be proud of Jason Sanders, who had a good game last week. Why is it, Bobby, that Anthony Weaver's been here all of 11 weeks and his defense is stronger with less than a healthier Miami Dolphins offense? Explain that to me. Like, it doesn't make sense. He was able to survive and keep us in somewhat games without all of his stars. And he's cutting people. He's cutting his captain. And by the way, Raheem Mostert, because now they're benching him for he fumbled 2 games in a row. You need Raheem Mostert. I don't know about you. And I said this, and I've said this many times, and so is Greg, and so is Brett. If Devon Achane is your lead receiver, is your lead weapon every single game, you will lose. You will lose. You will lose. Because name me another team that relies on a third-round, mid-level running back as your star. If that is your number one weapon, you are in deep, 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 deep trouble. Every time. Every time. Every time.
I wouldn't say he's mid-level, but yeah, I get your point.
No, he's not the star. Bobby, on this team,
you
have to, if you were to rank this team, just in terms of skill level, Tua, Tyreek, well, not in order. Tua.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Sealer, Ramsey, Holland, Campbell, Chubb, Phillips. He's not even in the top 10 of overall key players on this football team. He's in the second tier. He's not, maybe he's the 11th. He is not. He's the 11th or 12th most important player. Bobby, if today I told you, let's go. Who's more important to the team today, Tua or Achane?
Oh,
if you had to start a game today, you had to play a game today in the NFL, and you had to go Tua or Achane?
Tua, because we don't have a backup.
No, in general, as a skill player, Tyreek or Achane?
Tyreek.
Waddle or Achane?
Achane.
You think Achane is a better player than Waddle?
What has Waddle done this season?
No, as a player, not as a
no.
Achane.
Fine.
Achane. Ramsey or Achane?
Ramsey.
Holland or Achane?
Achane.
Really?
Yes.
You rather have Poyer out there than Holland?
Poyer and Holland play together.
No, because you have May on the other side. You'd have May.
So Poyer's on the bench when Holland's playing? No.
Okay. Sealer. Campbell.
Well, they're on defense, so
Brooks.
Achane.
Robinson.
Who?
Chop Robinson. For what you have on edge rushers, Chop Robinson or Devon Achane? No,
Achane.
I'm asking
You're talking about top tier guys. What are we doing?
Because the reason I'm making this point is if Achane's not there, you still have Wright and Mostert. You don't have that in other positions.
And White is a rookie, and what has he really done? And what has he shown last week? He didn't show anything when he was given the
behind him. If Devon Achane sat out a game, Jalen Wright and Raheem Mostert can compensate for what he can do.
No.
Yes, he can.
No.
Devon Achane is our leading rusher. And what's our record? 3-6 on offense?
Do you forget who was our quarterback? Do you forget who our head
No
coach is?
excuses
Now
who
you're
the
blaming
quarterback is.
Achan? No.
No
No
excuses.
You're
excuses.
going to put the 6 losses on Devon Achan?
No, I'm going to
Not on the coach now? It's not on the coach?
It is on the coach. I'm
For
not blaming
for
I'm not
9
blaming
weeks.
Achane. I
11
love
weeks
Devon
in.
Achane.
Are you
love
sure?
Devon. Yes.
Are you sure?
He's not, but I don't want the ball going behind to him more than it goes to Waddle and Hill throughout the game.
Hill, that's on Mike McDaniel. I'm not
Of
saying
course.
that's the point, but you're
But my
he's a
point
mid-tier
is
guy.
that-
He's not
No,
mid-tier.
my point is that Devon Achane is not a game breaker. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle could be game breakers.
There you go. There you go.
Devon Achane,
There you go.
Devon Achane is not going to be the reason why you win football games.
How could he be the reason you win football games when you can't even find a reason to win football games when all your guys are there?
Because they're relying on him.
3-6.
They're relying on him the same way when we sucked and they just relied on
Waddle.
Waddle.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
No.
At least I'm not crazy. I can get on board with everything else. But this is Fitzstanza just trying to get with Lagasse and Maney, with the whole Devon Achane. I've been saying all offseason, Devon Achane is on the same tier with Hill and Waddle. It's not his fault that McDaniel can't get past him because somehow, some way he can't figure out how to get Waddle and Hill involved, and they're dropping balls. But we're going to blame Devon Achane. He's a mid-tier guy. First, he was an elite. He's going on the tier of elite because he could play receiver, he could play running back, he could do it all. But now because the Dolphins are 3-6, now because he's the focal point, because McDaniel, Fitzstanza self-proclaimed McMoron, can't figure out how to get everyone else the ball. Achane's not really, he's mid-tier. He's not that good because we can't win when he's the leading guy.
Yes.
You put LaDainian Tomlinson as your leading guy, you're not going to win those many games. Everyone else has to do it. Everyone else, Keenan McCardell and those other guys have to. David Boston.
I'm about to challenge you.
Well, you're going to lose.
If Derrick Henry would have been your number one back this year.
If Derrick Henry had more touches and more reception than Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins would be 3-6. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Devon Achane is not. First of all, Devon Achane. Hold on. No, you talked for 45 minutes. For 20. Look, we're 27 minutes in. You've taken the 45% of the 80% of the damn time. Devon Achane is not Derrick Henry. Let's make that perfectly clear.
I like to bite people.
I guess so. Now we are running more, and we need the bad more classic. Damn if you do. Absolutely, 100%. I'm all about running more too, but it's also not it's running as much. It's as a receiver as well. But I'm not going to blame Achane for being 3-6. I'm not going to say, because he's a focal point. Come on. Where are we going here? Calling him a mid-tier guy? Again, this is calling Chop Robinson a bust in his first season. You're going to say Devon Achane in his second year is mid-tier. Stop it.
This coming from the guy who kept on telling me that this guy's a rookie head coach. It is only his second year. Give him a chance. He's going to get better.
He was a rookie head coach.
Just
because you have a short fuse for anyone that walks in. Oh, dude, that dude, he came on the field and tripped on the grass. He's horrible. Yeah, he was a rookie head coach. He's 3 years in now. Now no one could say that. Don't go 3 years later going, you were the one who said he was a rookie head coach. He was a rookie head coach.
The inactives are in.
Huh?
They announced the inactives.
Oh, don't interrupt. Don't throw that out there. We'll get to it. My goodness. Are you ready to apologize? I can play that game too. Are you ready to apologize to Chris Greer? 3 years ago? 2 years? What?
Let me try. I will clarify my point for a moment.
No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear 20 minutes more of clarification.
It'll take 10 seconds.
You're full of crap. 10 seconds. Nothing takes you 10 seconds.
I like Devon Achane. I blame Mike McDaniel. See, I clarified.
Okay. There you go. You, the whole audience there, most of them, until Scotty and Daniel got it, because damn well they were going to go off on you. Everyone else seemed to be riding with you. They're like, yeah. As soon as you said about Devon Achane, that was it. Now watch Devon Achane have the worst game, fumbles 3 times, and this today, and you're going to go, I freaking told you. Just laughing just like that on pregame. Oh my God!
You know what's sad? You know what's sad? When people are excited about the fact that Robert Jones is playing today. That's the happiness. Teron Armstead's playing great, but Robert Jones, yay, we got Robert Jones back. How exciting. I'm so excited to see Robert Jones take everyone to town. He's going to make Max Crosby.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, God, that's really funny. Again, that's another T-shirt. Like, Bobby, I keep it muted until I see you move when Finn Stanza talks. Oh, man. Goodness gracious.
Wow. When I've never attacked Scotty once, ever. I've never
once You're on air. He could critique you.
I have thick skin. It's okay.
I know. Let it go. Let it go. You just blast. You just wait till you get on overtime before you go off on H-N like that ever again. How could you? And this is fair. I agree with this.
H-N.
This is my concern on H-N. His ability to stay healthy. Look, he's only in his second year, but he's not a big guy. But again, when you're using him in that type of way, now if he was just playing running back, that's a different story. You got to have a pair with him. You have to have someone else with him. That should go with any running back, really, unless you're like a Derrick Henry type. We are yet to see. We know how we feel about Jalen Wright, but we have yet to see that from him consistently. And not that he's been given the opportunity, but we don't know if he could be that yet. We know Raheem Mostert is probably on his final year here, but that's my only concern on H-N. Other than that, I believe as a runner, as a receiver, as a what's that tool where you have a knife and
Swiss Army knife.
He's a Swiss Army knife, a legitimate Swiss Army. He doesn't have to be. He does not need to be. Some kind of superstar back and all this whatnot. He could be an Austin Eckler. He could be one of those guys, and he will be right there in your top 10 of most important guys on your offense and on your football team. You're gonna bring up Chop Robinson, Cam Smith over Devon Achane. Like, wait, what? Where are we going here?
I never said that ever.
But you were going there because you were Chop Robinson. You said Chop Robinson compared to Devon Achane.
Based on depth. At the position. Yeah. Because you said Tua. No, because you said Tua. Whoa.
If you're going to say Tyreek, you said Tyreek or Achane. You asked me. First
eat your own words, my friend. Eat your own words. You said your exact words when I said Tua was because we don't have a backup quarterback. The most deep position we have on this roster.
Again, if Tua's out of the roster, it doesn't matter. First of all, we've seen how this team performs when anybody other than Tua is playing at quarterback, and I'm talking about only the guys. Mike White, Skyler.
We didn't play poorly when Devon Achane wasn't there. Raheem Mostert and Jalen Wright were great in that game.
But that doesn't mean that Devon Achane is not one of the most important or better players. Doesn't mean he's mid-tier. He doesn't mean he's mid-tier.
We won the football game without Devon.
It doesn't mean he's mid-tier.
I said that for the purpose of our depth of our position at the game, we need Achane less than we need certain players because of the depth of that position. That's my point.
We don't have depth at that position. Those guys can't stay healthy.
Oh, thank you. There's my mentor.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're going there. But you're going to call him a mid-player. You're going to call him a mid-player?
A mid-player relative to the other players on this team.
Stop it.
There are 10 players more important on this team than him. Sorry.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Stop it. No, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about both. No, that doesn't make him a mid-player. You could say, there's 10 other guys
on this team. He's a mid-level player for us to be successful. He should not be the focal point of our offense in order for us to win. Our team.
When you have Tyreek Hill, Tyreek should be the focal point of your offense, but he's not. It's Achane. That's not on Achane. That's on Mike McDaniel.
But I'm not blaming Devon Achane for that.
You called him a mid-player
for this team.
Oh, you're full of crap. Stop it.
Oh, my God. If we had to name 7 Pro Bowlers on this team, he wouldn't be He wouldn't be in the 7.
7 Pro Bowlers?
If you had to name the elite players on this team to the outside world, it's Tua, it's Waddle, it's Hill, it's Armstead, it's Sealer, it's Campbell, it's Ramsey, it's Holland. That's your team. Those are your top. Not Devon Achane. Yes.
You can't tell me that because I've been saying all offseason how I think Devon Achane is one of the elite players on this team.
And we will never win.
Just because you heard that on overtime.
No,
and
I
you're,
was on
you're 11
overtime.
weeks in. Now you're getting on that bandwagon because you love to do that, and you're goddamn wrong. You didn't say that in the offseason. You're saying that now.
I
You
never
just,
believed
and
he
to
was
say
an
that
elite
Javon
player.
Holland is above Devon Anchin right now is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And there was no
100%.
Campbell before the season. Come on.
That's how I feel.
There it is. Oh, look. Before there was a Greg Maney and a Brett and a Fitzstanza on overtime, it was me and Brett Lagasse on overtime. At least we agree on that. Stop it. You're reaching. You're reaching. Come on down. I would say that. But yeah, come on, man. Come on, man. Please. Cut it out. Yeah. Drink your regret. Drink your regret away. Coming on here with that crazy ass take. I let you get away with a lot of things. I'm not letting you get away with that. Stop it. Stop it. It is ridiculous. 100%. But that's not on Anchin. Oh, we're going to blame him for being no, that's on McDaniel. Mike McDaniel can't figure it out.
When did I say it wasn't on McDaniel?
You kind of saying Anchin's a lead guy. We can't win with him as the lead guy. He's a mid-tier guy. Mid-tier? You're ridiculous, and you know it. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. You've said some crazy things, but that's crazy. Stop it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. You're like, who said? I apologize, Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson's a bust.
Be careful.
That's what he said.
No, we'll roll the tape. If you heard what I said at the beginning, and then we can move on. I said, as long as Devon Anchin is the focal point.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Stop trying to rephrase what I'm saying. I'm not talking about him being the focal point, and that's why we're not winning. That's not the point of that. The point, what I'm arguing against, you calling him a mid-tier guy. That's my problem. Not that if he's the focal point. We all know when you have Tyreek and Waddle, and that's where all your money's going, those guys should be your leader guys when it comes to statistical numbers and all this whatnot. I'm not arguing against that. I'm arguing against calling Devon Anchin a mid-tier guy, and you're listing 52 other guys, 52 other guys better than him. Stop it.
I never said that. I said I would prefer.
It's okay.
If I had to start.
We're going to inactives now. We're going to inactives now. You're not going to keep rephrasing it. Stop it. What's our inactives?
I don't know.
You don't know who our inactives are? Are you sour?
No.
Are you sour?
I'm far from it. Our inactives today are Jeff Wilson Jr., Ethan Bonner, Kendall Fuller, Alec Ingold. Good luck to our run game today. Muhammad Kamara, Andrew Miles, Dietrich, and Devon Anchin.
Devon Anchin. Oh man. Ingold,
but Wynn is only open to play, so he doesn't have to come back for a couple weeks. Ferguson is still on personal leave, but Ingold being out is a big problem for the running game today. They're not going to be successful.
But see, and that's where someone like Anchin comes into play. You put him in the receiving part of it.
Oh yeah, great. Check down. To first down, second. Yeah, you know what happened last week with Devon Anchin at running back?
They won.
1st and 10, 2nd and 13. 1st and 10, 2nd and 12.
What was the
First
result?
and 10,
they won.
2nd and 15.
They won.
23 points, my ass.
A win is a win. And they did it on Monday Night Football. They don't do that on primetime. They did it. Why can't you find happiness?
Because I've been disappointed way too many times by this team.
Oh God. You know, oh Lordy. Goodness gracious. I get it. Not trusting the team. I understand it. But my God, man. Oh man. There we go. I think Anchin is a huge reason why this team has three wins. We need Anchin, but we also found out we need Ingold more. He's the most important to this running game. 1,000%. That's why he was my favorite player last year signing.
I'll put you this way. I'll correct myself, and I'm about to piss you off, and then you can get mad at me, and everyone can rip me. If I had a choice today, if I had a choice between Devon Anchin and Alec Ingold for the purpose of our running game today, I'd rather have Alec Ingold.
Okay.
And so would you.
All right.
Bobby, in a
What?
very calm voice, answer me this. Who has been one of your favorite dark horse players on our team for the last 3 years?
I already just said that.
Alec Ingold.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, of all the people I listed on the inactive, which player which player bothers you the most? Which player was the most missed last week on the offensive side of the ball?
Oh, Alec Ingold.
And he has made Devon Achane look pretty good this year. He blocks for him.
Yeah.
Without him there last week, he didn't play so well.
Okay. They still won. Right?
Here. Oh, Greg, I love Greg.
Being the focus of the offense is the reason why Miami's lost 6 games this year. Again, I'd counter that because Mac McDaniel can't figure out how to use Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's why we've lost 6 games this year, because they didn't sign a legitimate backup quarterback. That's why they haven't won 6 games this year. It's their quarterback situation, not their running back
whose fault?
situation.
Yeah, and also that falls on McDaniel too.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, you're blaming the lack of a running game on Alec Ingold? No, that was McDaniel getting back to what the team does to win, throwing the ball. Weird. So I mean, Kendall Fuller is a big loss, but I think you and I both agree Alec Ingold is the biggest concern not being in this game for today, other than all the other inactives.
Yeah.
Do we have the Raiders inactives pop up yet?
I'm gonna look.
Oh, here, yeah, they are. They popped in. I got them here.
Yeah, you have them.
Let's see, Trey Taylor, Nate Hobbs, Cody Whitehair, Andre James, Harrison Bryant, their tight end, Zach Carter, D tackle, Dylan Lobb, running back. I guess Cody Whitehair is a Nate Hobbs. Other than that, I don't know who really is that much of a big loss. I thought, is it Christian Wilkins out for the year? Is he playing?
He's out for the year. He has a Jones fracture.
Okay.
But they'll be playing for him. I was watching an interview with the guy who does a beat writer for the Raiders and saying that guy is beloved in that dressing room. Like, he actually said, I don't know if you want to hear this hot take, that outside of Chris Jones, the best D lineman in the NFL is Christian Wilkins.
Wait, say that one more time.
And the guy does what Alan Poupart does for Sports Illustrated said that he said outside of maybe Chris Jones, the best D lineman in the NFL, strictly not edge rusher, not outside linebacker, best D lineman in the NFL is Christian Wilkins. Because he goes 110% every snap.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that he's his heart and his motor, But Zach Sealer, how much of a drop off did Miami's D line take when Wilkins left?
How much?
Right?
How much?
I mean, come on. Max Crosby's always a problem. That dude's gonna be for sure. Armstead on a bad knee against Crosby gives me pause. That's a great point. That's a great point. And then Austin Jackson being out, you got Kendall Lamb at right tackle.
Patrick Paul's been forced to practice at both positions.
Well, I think that's not a bad thing. I think that's a good thing.
No, that's a lack of depth.
Oh, well, again, that's
Once again.
It's Chris Greer.
Once again.
Oh, man. All right, let's go. Well, actually, no. Before we get into games, we could actually do that today. We won't give our prediction, but we will just kind of ride it out. ESPN has released their NFL playoff machine, and I would like to. We'll go ahead and pick our games, and then we'll see where that leaves Miami, win or lose today. How it finishes out. So obviously, first off, the Eagles over the Commanders. Holy crap! I mean, Saquon Barkley. He's probably loving every. Is there really a running back, since we're so hyped on the running backs today, apparently, like Saquon Barkley, who leaves his team? Obviously, Derrick Henry's having a good year with Baltimore, but Saquon Barkley, I mean, to leave the Giants. His exit from New York was on full display on Hard Knocks. I mean, I haven't finished that show yet, that Giants offseason show, which I think is the best one. It's better than preseason, it's better than in season. I like the offseason where they're deciding who they're going to draft. The general manager's talking about trades. They're on the owner. The owner went to the GM and he was like, is there a way we could keep him? I would hate to lose him. And he was, we got to think about painting Daniel Jones, which is crazy, and now you let him go. He goes to Philadelphia and you're hoping he has a mid-tier season, quote unquote, but he's having a killer season. I mean, he probably has one of the highlights of the decade with the behind the back hurdle, non-look. I mean, freaking Eagles, man. And shout out to Saquon Barkley. Got to be happy for him for what he's been going through. But the Commanders are no joke. But the Eagles beat the Commanders. I did have the Commanders winning. That was my official prediction. I thought the Commanders were going to come out with
Dan Quinn made a few coaching mistakes that game.
Quinn, yeah. So
it wasn't a good coaching game.
So
by the way, the only guy who ever left a team, not in the public way, but they regret ever letting a running back go the way they did was Indy back in the mid-'90s. How they let go of Marshall Faulk was beyond me. Oh, we're going to do you see what Marshall Faulk did in St. Louis?
That's true. So next one here, make sure. Okay. You have the Steelers. You have the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. I actually have it Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh winning this game. It's at home. This is a division game. I think the Steelers pull out a win here, Finstanza. Can you see that, or do you think Baltimore will take the win?
This is one of those where I think the quarterback position plays the greatest role. And I think Russell Wilson struggles against the secondary of the Baltimore Ravens. And the Lamar Jackson has a good game. Derrick Henry runs the ball well, and the Ravens pick up the victory.
All right, I'm going to give it to the Raiders. I have my official ones on the side, but I'm gonna go with with Baltimore here. At the end, I'll switch it to Pittsburgh just to see how everything falls out. And if you want to react to comments, you could as we're going here. But Jacksonville at Detroit. I got Detroit. Right? Okay. Rams at New England. The Los Angeles Rams at the Patriots. We'd face the Patriots next week. That will be a tougher game than the Raiders. But in my opinion. But how do you see this playing out?
Patriots,
okay. Let me see if I had that. So you got the Patriots beating the Rams at New England. I have it Rams. Then we got Cleveland at New Orleans. What do you got? I got Cleveland.
New Orleans.
Okay. I'm going to keep it New Orleans here. Indianapolis at the Jets.
Even though I'm wearing the T-shirt that tells me that I would vomit if the Jets win.
Okay.
To the benefit of this pathetic season that the Dolphins are incurring, I'll take the Jets.
All right.
Matthew Richardson's a disaster.
Yeah, he's having a tough year, and then of course that you would flip your. I mean, you already do, but if Tua pulls himself out of the game because he was tired, God help us all. I'd be absent from post-game show at that point. Because what's the point of me being there? I'm not going to get a word in at that point. It's over. I'm just saying, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Well, that's it. Good night. That's all I have to say for post-game at that point.
At least I'm passionate.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't question my passion.
No, can't question that whatsoever. Sanity, maybe, but not passion.
But I'm Canadian, so I get it.
Yeah,
I get a little bit. That's the one thing people don't realize. People are hard on me, but I'm Canadian. I'm nice.
Yes.
Deep down, I'm nice.
You are a very nice person. I'll defend that. I'll go to bat for you on that 100 times.
I'm Vincenzo. I'm not. We go up and down.
Doesn't like dogs. Okay. I don't want to miss anything out there. All right. Green Bay at Chicago. Man, don't sleep. I mean, let me just say, I have Green Bay, but you can't
The
sleep on
Chicago Bears.
Chicago.
Okay, Eberflus is one awful coach. They are bad. Caleb Williams looks lost right now with that offense, and they blame the offensive coordinator. It's like tomorrow the Dolphins struggle. Let's fire Frank Smith. Why? Frank Smith is not the reason why we're losing. It's Mike McDaniel the reason why we're losing.
Oh, I agree.
I take the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, got the Packers. I have the Packers officially as well. Falcons at Denver. This will be an interesting game.
Denver all day.
Denver. All right, I'm gonna put Denver.
If it wasn't for a blocked field goal, they were gonna win last week. They are a good team. Don't sleep on Bo Nix. I'm telling you, whether they're strong.
No, hey, Brett.
He's offensive. He's rookie of the year.
Josh Wingate had Bo Nix even before the draft. I mean, he was banging the table for Bo Nix for any team. Really, he was talking about, even though he's a Cowboys, he was saying Miami should look at Bo Nix, but he was just banging the table for Bo Nix as a rookie. Yeah. He was like,
we know Jaden Daniels is probably gonna win it, but Bo Nix has had a good year.
Oh, 100%. All right, so Denver. Then we got Seattle at San Francisco. Rivalry game. I had the Niners winning that one.
Yeah, even without the McCaffrey's there, even without George Kittle, they'll still pick up the victory.
Okay, so this one here is this one's a big one. I think this is where Kansas City gets their first loss. It's Kansas City at Buffalo. How do you see that playing out?
Josh Allen, he's had too many consistently good games.
Oh, you think he's due for a bad one?
Yeah, he's up for a bad one.
Okay.
And that defense, doesn't matter what Patrick Mahomes does, that defense is no joke. Steve Spagnuolo is no joke. He will cook something up to confuse Josh Allen. Kansas City stays undefeated, and unfortunately, the 72 Dolphins are not popping the champagne just yet.
The Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. I was just reading a statistic today about the Chargers defense. Allowing they're 13 points a game. That's all they're giving up. But I mean, as much as I'm a Jim Harbaugh fan and a Herbert, rooting for Herbert, I got the Bengals. The Bengals seem to be on the upswing. I'm going Cincinnati on this game.
Bengals lost last week, didn't they?
No, did they? Did they? I don't know. They lost. What is it, by a hair? I'm not sure.
I don't remember what they did last week. Anyways, the Bengals have more to play for right now. They need to win more desperately than the Chargers, so the Bengals will win.
Let me look at the Bengals very quick.
Wow, me and Scotty actually agree on something.
Is that right? Yeah. See, they lost 35-34 to Baltimore.
Yeah,
by a hair.
By the way, this is finally me and Scotty are. That's something I don't disagree with.
Again, former head coach. I mean, what he's done for that defense, that's nothing. That's not something I would argue about. It's one guy I would be okay with considering.
Except when he gets confused about timeouts. Also, remember he ran down the field and tried to call timeout, but only the head coach is allowed to call timeout.
That's funny. Houston at Dallas, the Cowboys. That's Houston.
Oh, Dak Prescott, he's done for the year.
Even if Prescott was there, they're not winning that game.
Yeah, but the Texans are.
Even though I think Rico, the running back, he's not bad. I like him.
But Houston's not been playing great, but they're playing Dallas. Dallas is a mess. Dallas is not winning that game. Dallas loses worse at home than the Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. So, we didn't do Tennessee, Minnesota.
Oh, that's an easy game. Yeah. Minnesota. But do you see the amount of press? Every time I turn something on, Brian Flores on the upswing. He's going to get ahead of the people. He should be considered for a head coach next year.
Let me just say, I know. Let me just say very quick for this. I mean, that's my thing. It's like, oh, well, his stint with this team wasn't great. Well, that's why he was a former head coach. It's like, that's the reason. I'm just saying experience counts.
How many people could say they were former head coaches?
Yeah, well, that's true. Exactly. I mean, I think the only one you could probably say, man, his stint wasn't that bad. You go to Mike Vrabel, what Vrabel did with the Titans. That's why Vrabel's my preference. Vrabel would be my preference over anybody. But anywho, so at that point, let's just say Miami. We're not giving official predictions. I'm just saying here.
Who's
Let's say
Johnny?
Miami.
Who's Johnny? Who's Johnny Johnson?
He is for sure. Johnny Johnson. So Miami wins. They go 4-6 if they win. Let's see. So obviously no real changes in regards for Miami's chances. But again, Kansas City, they'll be the first seed. You got Buffalo, Denver. That's the team you're chasing. The Dolphins are chasing the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers at that point. If the Broncos lose to Atlanta today, and if Cincinnati wins, Cincinnati would go to the 7th seed. If, let's say, Denver loses and the Chargers win, Denver falls back into the 7th seed. So, but we said Denver, right? And so I did have Buffalo beating. I have Buffalo beating Kansas City here. I don't think there's much change at that point. Let me make sure I'm not crazy on time here, Evan. I just want to let this play out very quick. So we'll skip ahead here very quick, Evan, if we want. Let's run through these and let's just kind of play around with this a little bit, okay? So we have Pittsburgh at Cleveland. We go Pittsburgh there, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do this pretty quick. I want to just kind of see how this plays out because I thought we'd do a little road to see what legitimate real shot Miami has here. Okay. Tampa Bay at New York. We'll go Tampa Bay. Kansas City at Carolina. Kansas City. You tell me if you just say, hey, whoa, don't pick. Wait, go with them. You could tell me to stop. Dallas at Washington. Washington. NFC doesn't really matter, but we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go on. Make sure I'm not missing. This is sad. We're playing it for a playoff spot that we didn't exist before 2001. Yeah, I know. Well, that's true. Again, that's what's pissing. That's why I understand like Fitzstanza or anybody who's pissed. And as I'm pissed, Dolphins should not be 3-6. They should be somewhere 6-3 with the talent of this team and where they are 3 seasons in. There's no way they should be at this spot. So can we really blame a Fitzstanza or anybody on not trusting Miami against this team today? What have they shown against bad teams? Nothing. So anyway, Tennessee at Houston. Go Houston. Detroit at Indianapolis. Detroit. Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota. Denver at Raiders. Denver at Raiders. I know the easy answer would be Denver, but it is a divisional game. It's in Las Vegas. Let me see if there's the Denver beat them bad down earlier in the year. So I'm going to go Denver here. That doesn't help Miami's chances. But Tua was hurt, proceeds to lose 2 straight with Tua back. Yeah. San Francisco at Green Bay. I don't think that matters, but San Francisco. Baltimore at the Chargers. Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Are you still awake? You're there?
I said yes.
Okay.
I'm reading. You wanted me to be quiet, so I'm being quiet.
No, no, not right now. I'm asking you questions.
Yes.
No, I want you to be quiet when I'm talking on a point.
Ravens.
You know? All right. So if it goes down where Miami could be at home at Hard Rock, even though they're 1-3 in the season at home, could they beat 2-3 today? Possibly. Could they go and beat New England at home in Miami? You could play the game early, to or Drake May, this guy over this guy, whatever. Miami should win next week. They should. People they're going to be the favorite. So, if Miami wins, nothing changes in regards of playoff seedings. And, if we go Raiders over Denver, they switch spots. That's the crazy thing. And this is what this will be. This should be the nail in the coffin. And let me just play this out here. Green Bay over Miami. Kansas City over the Raiders. Again, it's like a foot race with Green Bay. I mean, excuse me, with the Chargers and the Broncos. So yeah, huge hill to climb. All right, Fitzstanza. Your keys to, I know you don't, your trust issues, and I get it. All good. But if you're the coach of the Dolphins, what are your 3 keys to victory today to secure a Dolphins victory?
Fair. I'm going to make a lot. I guess one's very obvious.
Yeah.
Domination from Hill and Waddle.
Okay.
I want to see the wide receivers have a significantly important game. I want to see deep throws. I want to see them spread out the field. I want to see quick scores. I want to see quick plays. That's number 1. Number 2, intercept and turnover Gardner Minshew. And do not leave time on the clock for them to score points mid-half, where those 3 points or 7 points could be the difference between a win and or a loss. Simple as that. Spread the ball out. So I want to see the deep ball. I want to see wide receivers very much involved. It's not a running game without Ingold. Throw the ball. I want to see turnovers from our defense, getting to the quarterback. And I don't want to see free points and soft string cheese mozzarella defense when time doesn't matter to them.
Man, hard to say anything other than what you just said, but I did say this yesterday. This has to, you've been saying this all season, even when we win, and it goes into last season. This has to be a complete game for Miami. Offense, defense, special teams. The Raiders are the 29th best offense in football, and they're the 14th best defense. Even at 14th, mid-level, they're giving up 27.9 points a game. That's 28 points a game they're giving up. Miami's defense should not have a problem with the Raiders' offense, and the Dolphins' offense should have no issue scoring on the Raiders' defense. So this should be the game where Evan comes on post-game, happy or not, because he'll find something, but to say, you know what? This was the first game Miami played a complete game. Doesn't have to be crazy numbers, just a complete game. On the ground, in the air, on defense, on special teams, complete game. Secondly, protect the football. No slippery fingers, no salty fingers from Tua. No bad throws, no forced throws. Do your job. And thirdly, I agree. This is the game you need to get your stars the football. That does not mean that Devon Achane isn't less important, but that means Tyreek Hill needs to catch more than 2 footballs. He needs to be involved early, and I agree. I would put the Raiders defense on notice. Air it out. The first play, push Tyreek downfield. Push the ball downfield. And you know what? Even if he can't come down with it, especially later in the game, if they got to try to get those pass interference calls, you got to get these guys involved and get Jalen Waddle out of his head. He has to come down with some footballs. Don't put him in contested shots. We hate checkdowns. I know you hate checkdowns, but just to get Waddle going, get him a couple catches, easy balls. Bam, go for it. Run. Do something. Now he's out of his head. He's catching the football. He's making plays. And absolutely, Jonnu Smith. Shout out to Jonnu Smith. He's going to get some balls today, and he should. He should be a red zone beast today. But today has to be the domination. Again, if they win today, and it's a 23-15 type of win, it's continued, but it doesn't leave you much confidence. Because as Evan looks, Evan, we talked about the Packers game last week, and I was telling you, dude, I'm going game by game here. Doesn't leave you much confidence than, going forward. But if you could come out with a big dominant win over this type of football team to get over that hump that you were doing throughout the season, losing against bad teams and struggling against bad teams, you come out and you dominate a bad team, I'm going to feel better about the Patriots next week. And as we go into going against New England, then you start to feel a little bit better against the harder teams. But guess what? If you can't beat the Raiders, you have no shot at beating teams like the Packers and the 49ers. Kung 10,000, man, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Bobby and Evan is better than Skip and Shannon. Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Hunter says, please dominate. I have family pictures at halftime and I want to fake a smile. Please dominate for Hunter, Dolphins. Dominate. Evan, do the Dolphins dominate the Raiders, my man? What is the final score? I'm going to write this down. Hold on. I'm going to get my pen.
Let's start with this.
Uh-oh. I'm so scared.
John Jenkins is on the defensive side of the ball for the Raiders. Gerard Alexander, defensive backs coach. Patrick Graham, defensive coordinator.
He's a good one.
With Max Crosby. And a coach who I would prefer and had more joy watching coach because he was lost, but at least we knew he was lost, in Joe Philbin being that offensive line coach for the Raiders. I have more faith in the 2-7 Raiders with Pierce than I do with Mike McDaniel right now, because the Dolphins have something to prove today. They have something to play for today. And in big, important games that matter, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Mike McDaniel shrivel under the pressure. The Raiders have nothing to play for right now. They're all playing for jobs next year. And we're playing at home, where they have not shown that they are the greatest show on turf, that they're always in control. Till they prove me wrong, we will be here tonight commiserating the end of the Dolphins season, because the Dolphins will lose today 23-20.
Oh.
Watching a walk-off field goal as Tua has the ball in his hands to win the football game, can't do much with it. They get the ball back, they go back down the field, and their kicker kicks some 56-yard field goal to put the Dolphins
61 yards.
Maybe 61.
It would be something more ridiculous. Yeah.
Honestly, I have no faith in this arrogant
I got you.
trio of staff, from McDaniel to Greer to Tua. You have given me zero. You have put me up on I have put you up on a pedestal for 2.5 seasons. You have broken my heart and stomped on it over and over and over again. You have now, even if you win today, you're not going to dominate, because you don't know how to dominate. Because for some reason, other people are able to find their wide receivers. They're able to control the ball. They're able to shut down defenses. They're able to stomp on your throat to solidify a game. What do? We lose to Tennessee. We lose to Arizona. We almost lose to New England. We almost lose to the Rams. We kept the Rams in the game all game. We had so many opportunities to shove it down their throat. Mike McDaniel was bored and felt like keeping them in the game. They should have lost to Jacksonville. They got dominated throughout the rest of the season. Our team could be 0-9 for all we know. This team has not once shown a dominating performance. The greatest show on turf. They have been awful since Tennessee. Since last season, they have yet to prove anything. They are not going anywhere as long as Mike McDaniel is our head coach. I don't care what anybody says. Look forward to it. Yay, the Dolphins pick up a victory today. Yay, they pick up a victory next week. Yay, they pick up a victory. The greatest report to Miami Dolphin fans is that we finish in 7th. Well, who do we get? We're going to get either the Ravens, the Bills, or the Chiefs. Yay! That's exciting for me. I can't wait. Wow, we suffered through the year. We did the best that we could to only go to cold weather and lose by 60. Does anyone remember the last time we played a game in a playoff game where we made it? Dan Marino's last year. Do you remember the score? 62-7. If we go in cold weather, we'll be lucky if we even score 7. Last time we only scored 7 last year. I honestly have zero faith in this football team. Like, what are we looking forward to, Bobby? 7th place? A made-up added seed? What is exciting about this? There's nothing. We're worse now than we were 2 years ago. We're worse now than we were 3 years ago with a much better roster. This team is too laid back. This team is too fragile. We have people who have not learned their lessons. This is not a physical football team. This is a team that Jimmy Johnson and Don Chulo would be embarrassed to coach. Brian Flores, even if he was offered the position back as compensation for his lawsuit, wouldn't come back and coach this football team. As long as Mike McDaniel is the foundation of this football team, we're all going to be sad, miserable fans.
We're all going to be for the stanza. Oh gosh. Oh goodness gracious.
You see what,
can I just say
thank you, Hunter.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, I'm going the opposite end of my prediction, but I can't argue reasons why you went the other way. There's no everything you said is not wrong in regards of the trust and what Miami's done. And guess what? Even if they did make a run, think about who they're going to face, and then was it worth it then? But anyway, let me just say, Scotty has it 24-17. Jordan Murray, who was on Finstock yesterday, had it 56-10 Miami. Scotty has it Miami 24-17. Brett Lagasse, host of Finstock Overtime, 26-23 Miami. Fish Tank Hank, co-host of Finstock today, has a 32-17 Miami. Finstanza, just to repeat, has a 23-20 Raiders with a 50-plus yard field goal from whoever their kicker is. I said if that's what's going to happen, it's going to be a 60-something yard just to really grind Finstanza's gears at the end of the night. And he'll tell me before pregame, he'll tell me before postgame, I'm not even angry. I'm going to be silent as a mouse. Just trust me, bro. And as soon as we start right there, who told you? Just as soon as we go live,
But by the way, at least I'm authentic.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I don't flip flop.
No. I will say, as I've said before, what Miami needs to do today. They need their first complete game, and they need to dominate. My prediction is today is the day they finally dominate. And I agree, Finstanza. If it doesn't go down this way, if they don't win this game today, if they go 23-20, then lose to the Raiders. Tomorrow should be Black Monday for the Dolphins.
They should be fired.
Heads need to roll, right? There's no more, let's just wait till, no. Heads need to roll, whatever heads they need to be. And even if they go, if it's not the main guys, it's Embry or something. Something needs to happen tomorrow. And then at the end of the season, they all need to roll. But I think this is going to be, not that, I don't trust Miami. I'm with you on that. I don't trust Miami.
I walk around.
But I'm sorry. But my prediction, as I said yesterday, I think this will be the first dominant victory. It should be. I'm going to say it like that. This should be. And because it should be, I have it 38-17 Dolphins. The Raiders give up 28 points a game. The Dolphins have hit 27 2 games in a row. Before the Rams, they only scored 23. Dolphins should have a 38-17 victory today. Scotty says, I'm okay firing Greer and Embry and Crossman at any point. Yeah, no, again, if Miami loses today, nothing would bring me more joy than turning on my phone tomorrow morning or in the afternoon and saying the Miami Dolphins have released Chris Greer of his duties. There's no way you spend this much money, this much capital, put this type of roster together, hedging your bets and costing the future of this team for them to be 3-7 on the year. That cannot happen. So, and Embry and Crossman, if that goes down the way it is, then they aren't playing the type of football that dominate a game. This will be a close game. Miami gets Hill and Waddle the ball 15 times. If that happens, Miami wins by 3 touchdowns. Fair enough. Again, I say it because Miami has the talent to dominate. They should dominate. This should be a statement game. But I get the point. When have they done that this season? They haven't. So I understand it. So that's Greg Maynay, co-host of Finns Talk Overtime. Him and Brett put on some awesome content. Evan pops up in there a lot. He produces that show. That's a great show, a fun show. Whenever they get on. Anywho, that is we're right around the corner. We got about 40 minutes until game time. Caller commentary in the house. Great to see you, brother. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you, Greg, Jet, Joseph, Scotty, Label, Brett Hunter, make sure I'm not missing anybody. Forgive me if I do. Daniel. Let's see here. Forgive me, Chris. And Cap. Always Cap. Pretty boy as well. Everyone who is watching, we appreciate you guys. It is 40 minutes until game time. Dolphins welcome the Raiders. Mom's in the house. Let's all be real. We're all wishing the Chiefs lose. Again, don't think that's happening. Yeah, we all want the Chiefs to lose. We don't want them to get that under one, huh? I got you, Ma. I think they lose today, though. I think Buffalo beats them. Finstanza doesn't. Finstanza thinks it continues. Full disclosure. Looks like salt and pepper on the field. There you go. But, Evan, any final words?
Any final words? As long as we continue to think that this roster is capable of doing something good this year or next year, we're all lying to ourselves. Because even if we continue to do well and we finish 8-9, 9-8, all that's going to do is guarantee Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer their jobs. And they have proven over the last 2.5 seasons that they are not good game day coaches, game day operators, front office people. It's time for a change. The only way people get fired, the only people change happens is when things hit rock bottom. I don't want them to lose, but maybe they need to lose.
I got you. All right. Evan is done. The voice change. Yeah, that's it. His voice changed. It was more serious this time. My goodness.
I get trolled. I'm about to go to hockey, Bobby. I'm about to go watch my kid play hockey, and I'm going to be trolled. Yesterday, because I have a Dolphins vanity plate.
I know how it is. I know.
I go there, and people are going to be wearing Raiders hats on purpose. People are going to be teasing me the entire time. I get teased every single day, all season. Being a Dolphins fan is one of the toughest things to do, and I always have a smile on my face. I can't do it anymore because I have been consistent about one thing. As much as you've been consistent about Greer, Greer is not the game day operator. He is not the person who chooses who plays when and where they play and how they play. He's not the one calling the timeouts. He is not the one choosing the play call. It is Mike McDaniel.
There you go.
And as you can see, I didn't insult him once the whole podcast. I kept my promise.
No, you just went after HN. Anyway, all right, guys. That's Finstanza. I'm Bobby Finstock. We appreciate you guys all tuning in and participating. We really do. Please come tonight too at 8 p.m. Eastern. Win, lose, or draw, we will both be there. And we promise, as always, it's going to be an entertaining show. Miami Dolphin fans, like, subscribe, most importantly. Fins up.